a very quick turnaround off of an offensive showcase in last night's affair here at Lake Olmstead Stadium between the Augusta Jaguars and the Young Harris Mountain Lions. The Jaguars raked to a 16-7 victory after a bombastic offensive display last night here at Lake Olmstead Stadium, and we will get to the starting lineups after the national anthem. An outstanding performance last night from the Jaguars, accumulating 16 runs on 19 hits. The Jaguars are in the field first and have worked to a 1-2 count. Then Zach Odom wears one right on the back. Stillwell gets a nod on the hill for the Jaguars, who had a phenomenal start last time he was out. A reliever turning into a starter for the first time last time out. He has things cooking right now, but he's in a little bit of trouble hitting Zach Odom on the back, and Odom takes a free pass over to first base. Stillwell has worked an even count to Luke Miller. And that fastball is away. Stillwell gets set, wheels and deals. A slider that slides in on the hands of Miller, and he skies it out to center field. That's where Clint Hardy patrols out there. He camps underneath it, corrals it, and the Jaguars have their first out of this ball game. And that'll bring up a man who was in the middle of the Mountain Lions offense last night in the third batting position in Nick Sexton. It's lefty versus righty matchup. A fastball, and Sexton could not get the barrel of the bat around to the fastball and fouls it on back our way. Stillwell comes set. He delivers a tailing fastball that tails over the outside corner but does not cross the plate of the outside corner. And Stillwell has worked himself into an even count here at 1-1. So you got ones all across the board with Zach Odom at first base. Stillwell is getting set to deliver his fourth pitch here to Miller. He lines it past the shortstop of the Jaguars. And ABC Baseball comes in prime real estate for the Mountain Lions right there as they were playing double play depth. Hit and run scenario, gets past the infield of the Jaguars and shoots in the left field. And now the Mountain Lions have things cooking with runners at first and third here in the first inning with only one out. Stillwell is getting set to deliver to Zach Wall. He looks at the first pitch inside on the hands. Wall could not do anything with that pitch, even if he wanted to. It would tie up his hand so much. Stillwell comes set for his second delivery. He pins the low outside corner toward to an even count. Stillwell fires a changeup that sinks low for 2-1 affair on the count. Clint Hardy is shading Wall a little bit towards right center. Wall decides to go in the left center field gap, but that is where Jim Wagner roams around and he corrals it. And the Mountain Lions do plate one on that left center field flyout. And now, shooting up to the dish is arguably the hero for the Mountain Lions in last night's affair with a first inning jack that sent the Mountain Lions to a 1-0 lead and had a single to boot after that in his next plate appearance in Zach Beggs. And he looks at a first pitch ball just barely on the outside of the outside corner. Stillwell's trying to navigate through a tough situation here in the first inning with only limiting the Mountain Lions to 1 run off of 1 hit. Stillwell comes set. Wheels and deals. A slide piece that just slides just to the wee tad outside of the strike zone there. Just falling behind now in the count, 2-1. Fires an inside fastball. Great pitch to throw out the stealing runner at second. On a low inside fastball, Cole Thompson was able to grab it, transfer into his throwing hand, and fire a strike down the second to nail the advancing runner. Through a half an inning here at Lake Olmstead Stadium, the Mountain Lions have capitalized and have a 1-0 advantage. And now the guy who was a staple in a lot of the offense in a phenomenal night of offense last night, accumulating 16 runs, the guy who more times than not gets on base for the Jaguars, and Clint Hardy stands at the dish. He admires the first pitch fastball that just veers to the outside part of the plate. Hardy's going toe-to-toe against Donald Frew of the Mountain Lions. A righty versus righty matchup. And Hardy sees a blistering fastball that he doesn't try to do too much with it, just shoots it back up the middle where the ball was pitched to begin with. and finds himself at first base to lead off the game for the Jaguars. And Hunter Boo shooting into this series as Hardy takes off for second, and he will steal that bag very easily off of a changeup from Donald Fruit in the dirt. Boo shoots into this series with a .400 batting average that was definitely elevated after last night's affair. So a very good an extremely phenomenal 1-2 combination at the top of the lineup for the Jaguars. Clint Hardy is drawing a lot of attention at second, dancing around at second. That ball is lined to third base. I initially thought that the third baseman for the Mountain Lions, Wall, initially caught it in the air, but the umpire said he dropped it. He recoups very well, fires it over to first. All the while, keeps Hardy at second, fires over to first for the first out, and now he gives way to Nick Rao to see if he can shoot home that runner from second, 180 feet away from the plate. Rao's first pitch he sees as he admires a slider that looked outside, but with sliders they have a vicious cutback rate, and that slider slid back across the plate. Great pitch there from Donald Fruit to get the first strike of the at-bat. Dancing breaking ball that finds the dirt. Nick Rao has a decent-sized hole from second to first as the second baseman's holding Clint Hardy at second. And Hardy's speed, he takes off for third and shoots over to third base safely without a throw. And the Jaguars, with that steal, have a man 90 feet away from scoring their first run with only one out here in the bottom half of the first inning. And Nick Rao just takes an inside fastball and catapults that to left field. Left side of the foul pole, though. It's a foul ball, and we will reset and redo the 2-2 count. Great patient and great set of eyes there delivered by Rao as he let the ball travel inside the zone and then led with the bat. Was able to get the hands inside of the baseball and just drive it to left field. He goes the opposite direction this time around. Leads with his hands and pushes the ball foul over into the Mountain Lion bullpen. And Nick Rao with two good swings. Let's see if he can turn out a third great swing and capitalize on this at-bat for the Jaguars. Donald Fruit, though, has worked it to a 3-2 count with that breaking ball venturing low into the strike zone. So Fruit looks to be precise. He doesn't have to really be too terribly accurate. He has to stay into the zone, but he doesn't want to be too precise. And he gets Nick Rao off of that curveball that ventures inside on the hands, and Rao pops out to shortstop. So two opportunities for the Jaguars to get a stealing Clint Hardy, who stole second and third around to home. And both of those times they have come up short. And that places this opportunity into the hands of Drew Taylor. Let's see what he can do for the Jaguars. He ropes a pitch that was up in his eyes, doesn't try to do too much with it, and it finds the grass in center field. Drew Taylor, have yourself one more RBI. And the Jaguars, with that single, have tied up this ball game at 1 apiece. And Connor Gilbert, first pitch he sees, hits a laser out into right field, where Troy Kaiser gathers it on a line. And as we head to the top half of the second inning, the Jaguars manufacture that run that they lost back, and the game is tied 1-1. Stillwell out for his second inning of work, and after an ABC style first inning with both squads manufacturing runs, Stillwell is working to Beggs in the left-hander's batter's box, and he swings at a first pitch that just dives below the barrel of the bat. Stillwell fires a slider that nabs the outside corner. Middle infielders for the Jaguars are playing back, respecting Beggs' power that he displayed in the first game yesterday with a first inning home run. Strikes out, though, off of a vicious changeup here. There's one down here in the top half of the second inning. Brett Westmoreland is the hitter at the plate now for the Mountain Lions, and he views a first pitch fastball that tails to the outer part of the plate and does not connect with the strike zone. But that fastball does, however, venture to the outside corner to even up the count at 1-1. And that riding fastball tails in on the hands of Westmoreland, and all he could do with it was turn over on top of it and beat it into the ground, foul. sees a fastball up in his eyes, decides to offer at it, skies it out to shortstop, where the Jaguars camp under it and corral it. And now the second inning for Stillwell is moving quickly. So he fires a fastball, barely edging out the strike zone there for the first ball of the at-bat. Stillwell's in the works of a 1-2-3 inning. And in the first inning, the first batter he saw, he plunked in the back to start a one-run rally for the Mountain Lions. Chris McGinnis stands at the dish now for the Mountain Lions. He looks to try to bunt for a base hit. Smart idea to advance the runner at first to second. Stillwell wheels and deals a fastball that runs high. And there will be a conference on the mound to try to calm Stillwell down. The wind is not too shabby out here, as it looks like there is zero wind affecting any of the 5 balls that are being hit. And Stillwell comes set for his third pitch of the McGinnis at bat. And he stares at a fastball that pegs the outside corner. Now Stillwell's battling back to a 2-ball and 1-strike count. Again, finding the outside corner with that blistering fastball freezes McGinnis. And that ball is ripped to left center field by McGinnis. The Jaguars shoot it back into the infield. Runners on first and second now for the Mountain Lions. As Tristan Smith has an opportunity to parlay the runner at second, 180 feet, on home to advance their lead to a 1-run advantage. Right now the game is tied at 1 apiece. Stillwell's first delivery is a pitch inside. His next offering is hit on a bounce over to third, as Hunter Booz could not make the diving stab over at third. gets by Hunter Booz, and with that double by Smith, the Mountain Lions have advanced out to a one-run advantage here, 2-1. Stillwell comes set and fires. His first pitch. Here with 2 outs in the second inning. As a strike. Comes back with a delivery. To Odom, the second baseman, for the Mountain Lions. His opportunity to do some damage and tattoo some runs across for the Mountain Lions. As he stares at a breaking ball that reaches too low and doesn't cut across the strike zone. Stillwell, though, has anchored around and pinpointed the outside corner this inning. He's working the outside corner. That seems to be his designated area of pitching this half inning, as he goes just below the outside corner there, and it's a full count now at 3-2. Stillwell delivers the payoff pitch, a fastball that navigates high of the strike zone, and Stillwell wanted that call on a high fastball, but the umpire did not give it to him, and now the Mountain Lions have navigated to a bases loaded here in the the top half of the second inning. And Luke Miller now stands in at the batter's box looking to do significant damage to the Jaguars with the bases juiced. Stillwell may be a little bit rocked as that first pitch was delivered low. Comes back with a fastball that hits the borderline but does not venture over the border into the strike zone. Stillwell comes back and does pitch that fastball high, but gets Miller to swing right through it. And everyone on the Jags defense is playing back and straight up. As Stillwell comes back and fires a fastball that tails too far inside. And Stillwell is in a hot mess right now as he has a bases juiced here in the top half of the second inning. And already one run across here in the second. And Stillwell loses his man right there. As Young Harris shoots out to a 3-1 lead here, and the bases are still juiced. As the lefty Nick Sexton, first pitch he sees, he scoots it out in between short and third And that will plate 2 more runners as an absolutely phenomenal inning for the Mountain Lions continues as they have plated in this inning 4 runs, coming back out with a strong showing after accumulating 7 runs in last night's ball game. Wall marches up to the batter's box into the dish, and Stillwell still out there for the Jaguars, looking to get through a murky second inning after giving up 4 runs here. And Jason Eller, the head coach of the Augusta Jaguars, is walking out to the mound to have a chit-chat with Stillwell. And it looks like that will do it for Stillwell, and we will get word to you fans on a new pitcher for the Jags after the break. Do me a favor though, and see if you can zoom in on that on the jersey number of the pitcher. Yeah. What's that? No, the guy with the pink socks who's standing on the mound just came in. Well. Casey Lennox migrates into the ball game for the Jaguars, looking to put a halt to this mammoth and massive 4-run second inning for the Mountain Lions. And Lennox shoots into the ball game with a 1.46 ERA, 2 wins, as well as 6 appearances. He's pitched 12 innings and given up 10 hits, 4 runs, 2 of those 4 earned, and he has 2 walks with 13 strikeouts. Lennox first pitch, 2. Wall, who stands at the dish for the Mountain Lions, is wide. Comes back and fires his second pitch of the at-bat, a strike. And Lennox just barely misses the outside part of the plate. Lennox zinks a fastball too far inside. As Wall has orchestrated here a 3-1 count. And Wall takes his base and loads up the bases off of a Lennox fastball that ventures outside of the strike zone. And it's never a good situation for any team that walks the bases loaded. On the positive side for the Jaguars, Stillwell was able to get 2 outs in the inning before head coach Jason Eller decided to go to Lennox. So there's a force at any bag on the infield for the Jaguars. But the Mountain Lions have their power man up in Beggs. Looks at a first pitch outside the strike zone. Lennox wheels and deals a fastball that shoots across the inside corner. Beggs has lines it out to second on the ground ball, corralled it and fired it to first, and the Jaguars escape without any further damage being done, but the Mountain Lions accumulate 4 in the second, and let's see how the Jaguars respond on the other side of the break. Jim Wagner marches up to the plate and looks to ignite a rally here for the Jaguars in their half of the second inning. And his first pitch he watched it go into the catcher's glove as a ball. Second pitch from Frew. Fastball that pegs the outside corner. That fastball, Wags was a little bit too late on it and fouls it back. the infield, especially up the middle for the Mountain Lions, in their positioning, are covering up the holes between the bags. That means that Wags has an orchestra-size room to exploit to get a base hit if he so chooses to go in that direction. Decides to go the opposite way, leads the bat head out in front, and punches that one foul towards the left side. And Frew decides to change speeds on Wagner, but he was sitting on a changeup and deposits that into right field. And you couldn't have asked for a better start if you are the Augusta Jaguars, with a leadoff single from a very speedy Wagner at first base. And Cole Thompson marches up to the dish as Thompson enters into this ball game with a .327 batting average, 49 at bats. He's scored 9 runs. He's also ventured to smack 16 hits, as well as 3 of those being doubles, and 1 of those hits shooting over to third for a triple. And he also has 1 home run that was a game-saving home run against Florida Tech in a series a couple of weeks ago. Wags takes the lead over at first. And Cole Thompson rips one past the diving shortstop. The Jaguars are playing ABC baseball with the lead runner advancing 90 feet, manufacturing hits, getting them over. And now Cole Janowsic gets the call to plate Wagner at second, and possibly Cole Thompson at first. Jaguars are trying to scratch and claw their way back into this ball game. So they're only down by 4. The hits are now even at 4 all, and there's been flawless and errorless baseball to this point. Janowsic decides to take matters into his own hands and tries to advance both runners with a bunt attempt. He does not square it up, however, and he bunts it at the top of his bat, pops it up. And luckily for Janowsic, the catcher did not know where the flight of the ball was, and Janowsic gets another shot. Frew wheels and deals. Janowsic tries to bunt again. He does square it up this time, but he cannot muster any kind of push behind the bunt as that ball deadens right into the right-hander's batter's box. So now Janowsic forced to protect the plate here with 2 strikes. Fastball dives way outside. The clouds are covering up the sun here at Lake Olmstead Stadium. And Cole Janowski swings at a third strike down in the... And Cole Janowski might have foul-tipped that ball. The umpires are converging on the call, and they do call Cole Janowski out on a strikeout. It looked like initially for me that Cole Janowski did not make contact with that diving breaking ball. But Jason Eller wanted the umpires to converge and talk about it, and they ruled that Cole Janowski struck out instead of foul-tipped it. And T-Rob, the first pitch he sees on the day for Tyler Roberts, he serves it into the stands out beyond third base in foul territory. It's one out here in the bottom of the second. Jaguars have Jim Wagner and Cole Thompson at second and first, and Donald Frew on the mound for the Mountain Lions. He's clashing here against Tyler Roberts, who watched his second pitch of the at-bat fall out of the strike zone. The Mountain Lions try to pick off a speedy Wagner. Great idea from Donald Frew on the pitcher's mound with his move trying to cut off the runner at second for the Jaguars. Just a little bit too late on the throw, as Wagner's speed proved to save the runner 180 feet away from home plate. Wagner has a 4-step lead at second. Let's see if Frew... He does decide to pick him off again, and Wags is in a rundown now. It does allow Cole Thompson to advance 90 feet to second, but ultimately, Wagner is tagged out. He comes up a little bit gimpy. He's trying to run it out. Smart base running acumen there by Jim Wagner, getting into the rundown, allowing Cole Thompson to advance to second on the rundown. So the Jaguars still have a runner in scoring position, but instead of one out, it is now 2 outs. And Tyler Roberts eats up the dirt with a foul ball there. With Thompson at second, he has a 3-step lead. Donald Frew's checking on him. And he left a meat pitch and what looked like a breaking ball up in the zone that Tyler Roberts, with his quick hands, was able to get the bat head around the ball and serve a huge strike into the playground here at Lake Olmstead Stadium. Tyler Roberts is in a hole, though. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Try to cut off Cole Thompson at second with a tailing pickoff attempt they almost were successful in tagging the leg of Cole Thompson. But the umpire deems that Cole Thompson was safe, and Tyler Roberts stands in and awaits a 1-2 pitch in a different location, a change-up down. Same result as last time, though, as Tyler Roberts shoots that over towards the bullpen of the Jaguars and over towards the playground. Tyler Roberts is exhibiting how quick his hands are and his ability to pivot and turn on inside pitches. And there you see the batting knowledge of Tyler Roberts, able to stay back on a fastball and shoot it out to the opposite field. Foul. The last 2 pitches of Donald Frew has buried Tyler Roberts low and in and inside. Let's see where Donald Frew decides to go next. Change up in the dirt. Then an excellent stop by McGinnis, who had his frame behind his knees in order to knock that ball down so it wouldn't get past McGinnis and allow Cole Thompson to advance to third. Fastball is fired low. Tyler Roberts in this at-bat has seen about 8 pitches and is worked to a full count now. And let's see if Tyler Roberts can do anything with this Donald Frew offering. Very, very patient eyes there by Tyler Roberts, watching that fastball that was borderline and able to scoot on over to first, allowing Clint Hardy to come up in an RBI situation for Hardy. And entering into this series, Hardy on the year has had 12 RBIs. Now, during last night's game, in their 16-run offensive showcase, that was elevated as now the ball was thrown in the dirt by Frew. Smart by him to go back up the catcher, but McGinnis blocked the plate very well. It's just the ball nipped the protection on the chest of McGinnis, skewed out towards the third base bag in foul territory. McGinnis thought that Thompson was going to take off, so he threw down to third. Did not make a very accurate throw to third, and that throw was shot into left field, and that allowed Cole Thompson to move up the 90 feet that McGinnis was so worried about in trying to keep him not to advancing to third base. Now Frew wants to check on Roberts at first. His second straight throw over to first by Frew. And Tyler Roberts made it back to first base, but it might not have been without a price as he's trying to shake off a little of the dust over at first. So now Hardy rips one to third. With the speed of Hardy, they're having to hurry. Hardy's speed beats out the throw from third to first. And manufacturing runs is the name of the game for the Jaguars so far in this game, as that is their second run they have manufactured off of ABC baseball prowess. In the game. And Hunter Booz, who stands at the plate, looks to continue the finesse style of baseball that the Jaguars are exhibiting here today. And he rips one to shortstop, right at the shortstop, though. Fires it over to second on a force. The Jaguars, though, do acquire one run to scoot it up to a 3-run deficit as we enter 3. Hill preparing for Moreland. Lions second inning. Low and a buries a corner. His hands around that baseball, but just too far inside. He swings right through that fastball. 3:02 here at Lake Olmstead Stadium. And Casey Lanock in for the starter for the Jaguars. And Joey Stillwell, who in his last start before this one had a very promising start, going 5 to 6 innings. This time around, Stillwell could not venture out of the second inning. And Westmoreland finds a seat on the bench after a swinging strikeout on a diving changeup. Troy Kaiser now stands in at the dish for the Mountain Lions. He looks to jump all over the first pitch. And he bounces that one foul. Second pitch locates inside corner. 0-2 is the count. The Jags have been outscored, but lead in the hit department 5-4. They have come back with two single runs in the first 2 innings of this ball game and only trail by 3. They 5-3 score. With Troy Kaiser at the dish, he faces a 1-2 count still as he foul tips a changeup. that Thompson could not corral. And Kaiser gets another opportunity to swing away. Wind starting to pick up here at Lake Olmstead Stadium. And for the second time in the at-bat, Kaiser stays alive and fouls off a pitch right in the batter's box. There's one out here in the third inning. And Lenock, in his second tour of duty in this game, has struck out Kaiser on a diving changeup that Kaiser had his hands tied with, and he locates a seat on the bench. As now Chris McGinnis, another right-hander, shoots into the batter's box for the Mountain Lions. Lenock starts his at-bat with a first pitch fastball that ventures away from the strike zone. Fastball blazes past the swinging McGinnis right there to even the count. McGinnis saw that fastball as a stake and wanted to do some heavy damage to that fastball, but the speed off of the fastball does not connect with the bat. And now McGinnis, after looking at a fastball this time around, is in a 1-ball, 2-strike hole. Curveball dives down in the dirt. Excellent strategic pitch there by Lenock. You just hope, if you're a Jaguars fan, that he was able to elevate that just a little bit, just a touch to where he would get a swing and an offering at it, but he did not. And that pitch on a jam shot, McGinnis offered it that and shot it out to shortstop, where the Jaguars corral it. And the Jaguars, in their home half of the third inning, look to come back and tie this ball game down 3. The home half of the third inning will see the 3, 4, and 5 men in the Jaguars batting order, the heart of the batting order, up at the dish. The first man to take his swings at Donald Frew is Nick Rao. First pitch he sees, he skies one to center. The wind may affect that. The center fielder, Nick Sexton, camps under it. And the Mountain Lions have recorded their first out off of one pitch. Drew Taylor looks at his first pitch, strike. An exquisite eye there. Watches that change up, venture down. And an excuse me check swing winds up with Drew Taylor taking his base because I believe the ball might have hit Drew Taylor there. And head coach Travis Huffman for the Mountain Lions out to chat to the home plate umpire about what he saw. So the designated hitter for the Jaguars in the 5-hole, Connor Gilbert, looking to to do some damage and play Drew Gilbert, who's at first base. Jaguars have done an excellent job today manufacturing the 2 runs that are on the board right now for the Jags. Connor Gilbert with an exquisite eye right there views that changeup as it dies at the plate. Another changeup just a little too far inside. It also dies at the plate. So Connor Gilbert with another ball could take first and send Drew Taylor to second. Frew's offering. Tails back over the inside. Froze Connor Gilbert dead in his tracks, but Connor Gilbert had the right frame of mind as it looked like it was going to be we tad too far inside, and Connor Gilbert fouls it off of his foot. So it was a 3-ball and no strike count, and how quickly the baseball psychology adjusts here winds up being off of 2 straight pitches a full count now with Donald Frew working to Connor Gilbert. He definitely doesn't want to walk Connor Gilbert, but at the same time, he doesn't have to be too finesse with his pitches and too accurate with it because the Jaguars do not have a runner in scoring position. Plus, with the pitch that Connor Gilbert fouled off right there, Frew might have a chance after that pickoff attempt in which Drew Taylor scooted back into the first base bag successfully. Frew might have an opportunity to set up Gilbert here. He goes with a changeup in which Connor Gilbert rolls over the top of, but perfect placement in between third base and second base with a seeing eye single as a manufacturing continues for the Jaguars. Jim Widener stands in, looking to spread out the hits for the Jags. And spread out the defense for the Mountain Lions even more, as he views a first pitch ball on the outside corner. Did not get the call. Wagner decides to go oppo on that swing. A little bit tardy, though, on the swing. He did have enough aluminum on it, though, to lift it out towards the playground in left field. Watches that sailing fastball sail outside of the zone. Close call at second off a pickoff attempt, as Drew Taylor just barely shoots his hand into the bag before the tag was applied. Excellent decision there if you're through, just a little bit too late on the tag. And that fastball ventures away from McGinnis a wee tad, not far enough for the speed of Drew Taylor to advance to third, which also keeps Connor Gilbert at first and at bay. The Jaguars' patience this inning is on firm display. And Widener just rips one past the second baseman. Drew Taylor scoots on around third and ventures on home for the Jaguars to capitalize and make this a 2-run deficit, 5-3. And now Cole Thompson looks to continue the progressive comeback that the Jaguars have here in the bottom half of the third inning. Another pitch in the dirt by Donald Frew this inning, as Cole Thompson just watches it sail into the dirt. With Donald Frew being semi-erratic this inning, he has held the Jaguars to plating only 1 run here in the third. And that changeup dives down low but gets a strike call. The Jaguars extend their hit lead to 3, 7-4. In the run category, they're trailing by 2, 5-3. And that ball was jacked out of the dirt from Cole Thompson and bounced out to third on the foul side of fair territory. And Cole Thompson is in a hole 1-2. First to second base gap increases and then closes down as the second baseman navigates away from holding. The runner, who's now advancing to third off of a flyout by Cole Thompson. And the Jaguars have a runner 90 feet away from scoring their 4th run of the ball game. That comes, though, with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. So slow and steady, the Jaguars are clawing and scratching their way back into the ball game. In each of the first 3 innings of the ball game, the Jaguars scrape across 1 run. And the biggest offensive production of the day comes in the 2nd inning. And that is delivered to you by the hands of the Mountain Lions, who had a vicious 4-run 2nd inning after scoring 1 run in the 1st. And now Cole Janowski marches into the batter's box looking to scoot across the run from third home. Takes the first pitch out of the Frew's hands. It's delivered low off a changeup. And Janowski with sort of an open stance at the batter's box watches a fastball that looked outside from up here in the press box, but the umpire says it came across the outside corner. With Janowski's open stance, he'll have an easier time turning on any inside pitch. Donald Frew, though, keeps it in the center of the plate, but that pitch dives down in the dirt. A 2-1 count now as Cole Thompson's at first. And Cole Janowski takes a free base on balls, and the bags for the Jaguars are juiced. Tyler Roberts stands in with an opportunity to give the Jaguars the lead or to put a serious dent into the Mountain Lions lead. And if you're through, you definitely want to focus on getting Tyler Roberts out because you do not want to face a scorching Clint Hardy on deck. Tyler Roberts is definitely no slouch at the dishes. He has been on fire as well. He's been an excellent 9-hole hitter for the Jaguars. Have an excellent 9-to-1 combination as well as a 1-to-2 combination. Any slot within the Jaguars lineup is definitely a contender to contend with for any pitcher who faces the Augusta Jaguars. And Tyler Roberts bounces one out to third base, forcing any base. All the third baseman has to do right there is step on the third base bag, and we venture into 4. Jaguars dent the lead even more, 5-3. Lanock has held the Mountain Lions in his 2 innings of work. Let's see if he can halt them here for his 3rd inning as his second pitch to Tristan Smith is a fastball that does not catch the outside corner. Comes back with a fastball that hits the low part of the strike zone, excuse me. It was in the middle of the plate, but it was low. And Lanock has worked his way into a 1-ball, 2-strike advantage. And slide piece from Lanock there did not slide into the strike zone as much as he nor Smith wanted it to. Smith was able to get the bat head around to the baseball, but just tap it foul. Comes right back with a low fastball to Lanock. And Nick Rao, the second baseman, today's ball game for the Jaguars, corrals it and fires it over to first, where Connor Gilbert patrols today. Now, Zach Odom comes back up to the dish for his third plate appearance of the day. Thinks about turning on one. Decides that ball's a little bit too low and too far inside. First two batters of the fourth inning, Lanock has found himself in a hole and having to battle back with a higher ball ratio than a strike ratio. He's navigated back to a 2-1 count. Comes back with a changeup that was swung over the top of. And Odom takes an excruciating fastball that Lanock wanted. It looked like it had the inside corner, but that's just an attribute and a testament to Odom's vision at the plate, being able to lay off that fastball. He rides over the top of this and bounces it foul, as Booz had the right idea, letting it go to see if it was going to trickle foul. It decides to take a foul turn right at the last minute before it gets to the bag. That could have been dangerous for the Jaguars. A tough break there for the Mountain Lions, as they could have had business cooking. With Odom at second on a double, but as it stands now, Lanock walks Odom, and he's not 180 feet from home plate. He is 270 feet from home plate. Standing at first base. Lanock fires a fastball. Great pitch to try to catch Odom napping at first. Phenomenal throw there by Thompson. Fires back across the shoulder of Connor Gilbert, looking to tag the top of the waist of Odom. Great idea, just does not get the tag down in time. As Lanock now hasn't worked ahead of a batter this inning. And Cole Thompson wants to go have a chat to see if they can reorganize here and get Lanock back on track. Lanock came in the second inning and has worked 2 scoreless innings thus far in this game. And he's in the midst of his third. He's fallen behind every batter he's faced and has to battle back. It's the same scenario here. So he fell behind 2 balls and no strikes and battles back to 2-2 on an even count. And that ball was lifted foul. As there's 1 out in the inning. There's only been 1 error in this ball game. ball knocked on the ground. The Jaguars do go the shortest route on the diamond with the force to second. Extremely close play. And it looked like the Mountain Lions do have some room to argue on that call, as it was a very, very close, what we call a bang-bang play in baseball. And you couldn't get much closer than that. But the Jaguars do catch a break and record the out there. As now the left-hander Nick Sexton marches on up to the batter's box, and he looks at a first pitch. Stands outside of the strike zone. He bounces one straight through the hole on the right side of the diamond between first and second. As Miller migrates first to third, and that key close call at second saved the Jaguars a run right there. And if you're the Mountain Lions, you still have to, that still has to leave a bad taste in your mouth, as you could have elevated your lead 6-3, but as it stands right now, with pitching coach Howell on the mound talking to Lanach and the defense, the Mountain Lions are still in business here with 2 outs, however. So you have runners at first and third. In the middle of their order, as Zach Wall stands in. And it looks like the Jaguars are igniting their bullpen as C.J. Reed shoots on down to the bullpen to warm up. Wall steps in and looks at the same scenario as every batter this inning has, a first pitch ball for Casey Lanach, who's on the mound for the Jaguars. It's battled back. This time, he works ahead in the count on that changeup from a 1-1 count to a 1-ball, 2-strike count. The Jaguars still lead in the hit category, but trail in the run category. And the long 4th inning continues for Lanach as well as the Jaguar defense. And C.J. Reed, as we just mentioned earlier, going down to the bullpen to start warming up. You see some long tossing there before he actually starts throwing in the bullpen to warm up his arm. And the Jaguars record the 3rd out of the ball game as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. The Jaguars have some work to do to muster up the runs to tie this ball game up at 5-all. As it stands right now, it is 5-3. Clint Hardy leads it off here in the 4th inning, and first pitch he sees, he shoots one back up the middle, hit the mound, or that hit the pitcher's mound on the right side of the pitcher's mound, took a huge hop. The ball finds itself in center field as Clint Hardy stands at first base. And with his speed, that was the last thing that the Mountain Lions wanted. Just have to worry about Hardy, much less worry about the guy at the plate in Hunter Booz. And the Mountain Lions are still sticking with Donald Frew. He has found himself in a lot of chaos on the base paths, but he's managed to work and navigate through the situational chaos and only give up 1 run in each of the first 3 innings. So he's minimalized the damage in each inning out of what could have been some convoluted innings, to say the least. Is now Hunter Booz looks at his first pitch of the at-bat, and it is a ball. And his first pitch in the dirt this inning allows Hardy to advance with ease to second base. And the Jaguars, with the speed at second, can cause chaos from base to base and on the diamond and acquire their 4th run. With a base hit here from Hunter Booz. He stares at a 2-0 count, though, so the count is in Hunter Booz's favor. He rockets one to right field. Hardy's speed is going to tag and try to advance to third, and he does. There's a lot of banter going on in the Mountain Lions dugout. They're saying that Hardy might have left early and did not wait for the right fielder to corral that ball before advancing to third. Travis Huffman, the head coach of the Mountain Lions, out to chat it out with the second base umpire. And again, in college and in Peach Belt play, there are 2 umpires in the regular season. One calling the balls and strikes, and one anchoring umpire at first, second, and third base. Second pitch comes back, delivered to Rao, and that pitch sails a little bit too high. So he tried to get a little bit of curve off of a curveball and curve back inside, but it did not bite. As that slide piece does tail a little bit to the outside part of the plate, but still froze Rao in his tracks. That ball is skied to right field, and the Jaguars, off of the speed of Clint Hardy, with a sacrifice fly to right field, cut the lead down to 1. So the scratching and the clawing that the Jaguars have done This game is in full effect and has worked. And the Jaguars, through 4 innings, have plated a run in each of their plate appearances in each half inning today. Ball bounced in the dirt from Frew. That ball is rocketed by Drew Taylor to shortstop. Pick and a fire over to first, but not before the Jaguars tack on one more here in the bottom half of the 4th inning as we move into the 5th inning now. The Jaguars see light at the end of the tunnel with a 1-run deficit. C.J. Reed shoots into the ball game at a crucial spot here in the top half of the 5th inning for the Jaguars, maneuvering and positioning themselves only down by 1 run here in the 5th inning. A pivotal spot for C.J. Reed to hold the Mountain Lions if you're a Jaguars fan. Fastball shoots on a line down in the dirt. Second fastball of the at-bat, tails to the high outside part of the plate. Does not enter into the strike zone, however. Comes back with another fastball that does cinch right inside the outside corner. Tries to nail the outside corner again, but is not successful this time. Gets him cutting through a huge changeup. And with the powerhouse Beggs at the plate, this would be a huge strikeout for C.J. Reed if he can get it. But instead, that pitch does not find any part of the plate. And Beggs trots over to first. And not what the doctor ordered if you are the Jaguars in this predicament. With a runner at first, with 0 outs, having clawed and scratched your way back into this ballgame, only trailing now by a run when it looked gleamy to start, trailing at the top half of the second inning, 5-1. They've cut it to 5-4. Now, let's see if the Mountain Lions can extend their lead even further, as that first pitch from Reed is high. Second pitch is also high to Westmoreland. You've got Hunter Booz coming in from third. So he's trying back over to the bag to talk to C.J. Reed. And again, the pressure on C.J. Reed coming into the ball game right now is even more elevated with a comeback and a rally in the midst for the Jaguars, trying to hold the Mountain Lions at bay at 5 runs. Double play ball, if executed correctly. Second, over to first. Connor Gilbert digs it out of the dirt. Double play ball for the Jaguars, and just what the doctor ordered, to acquire 2 outs in 1 play. And the bases are playerless for the Mountain Lions, as now what started to look like a possible extension to their lead looks a little bit gloomy right now, with Troy Kaiser at the dish. And you got to believe that that double play boosted the confidence of C.J. Reed tremendously, as he's worked back from a 2-0 count now to a 2-1 strike count. Looks like the left field line would be a friend to Kaiser, as well as left center field, as well as just to the left side of second base is a pretty decent gap to exploit for Kaiser as well. But he looks at a third pitch, I beg your pardon, a third pitch ball. Looks to offer that pitch, but realizes that the fastball was riding high, decides to lay off of it. So the inning will continue for the Mountain Lions and the Jaguars, and for C.J. Reed, who goes to work here against the catcher McGinnis. McGinnis stands in with a count in his favor at 1-0 strikes. A barreling fastball tailed inside on the hands. Inside out swing, gets a piece of it and drives it to the stands foul. Sun is starting to appear here at Lake Olmstead Stadium from beyond the clouds, and there is a little bit of shadow from some of the lights here at Lake Olmstead Stadium. Not too much of a shadow that it would impair any kind of rotation visibility on the ball. Now, if the roof was to venture out into the field of play in the shadow from the roof, that would be enough of a shadow to possibly impede a miscalculation on the speed and the rotation of the ball if you are a batter at home plate. But as it stands now, it's not too terribly much of a shadow and might not do too much damage to the tracking of the ball if you're a batter. Well, C.J. Reed works into trouble and works out of trouble very concisely, as now the Jaguars, after a strong hold in the top half of the inning, let's see if they can come back and scratch across a tying run or a leading run in the bottom half of the fifth. We would like to thank the Zeta sorority at Augusta University for coming out and sponsoring this pink out game that the Jaguars are trying to claw back in to this game. They have, for the most part, scoring 4 runs in 4 innings, 1 run in each inning, as Connor Gilbert takes a stab at a diving changeup, is able to foul it off. So you got Gilbert, Wagner is on deck. And I believe that it's Cole Thompson in the hole for the Jaguars. Connor Gilbert's orchestrated a 3-2 count here. That pitch is in the middle of the plate. He got fooled on it and skies it out towards shallow right field. Second baseman Odom is there to make the put out. Lefty Jim Wagner's up at the dish. He had a lot to do with that run scoring in his last at bat. He stares at his second strike, nailing the outside corner. Outfield for the Mountain Lions are playing straight up, about normal depth. Infield's covering the holes. And Wagner swings on a changeup that was diving in the dirt for the second out. And now, as he takes his seat, Cole Thompson rides into this at bat. And he stares at a first pitch strike. Fastball over-rotated, did Frew. And that ball off of that release point sailed in the dirt. Three up, three down inning as we head into the sixth inning. Jaguars waste an opportunity to come back into this ball game and tie it up. Let's see if the Mountain Lions can extend their lead even farther. So a wee tad wound up. C.J. Reed, who came in last inning, looks to settle in here, calm the nerves, and start off right here in the sixth inning. His first pitch was low, but he was able to get the hacking Tristan Smith to swing over the top of it. Next pitch, Smith relaxes on that pitch and watches it sail out of the zone. Another fastball does not hit the strike zone. Smith rockets one to shortstop. Routine ground ball as the Jaguars place a stamp on their first out of the sixth inning. And that'll turn the lineup over for the Mountain Lions and bring up the one-hole hitter for the Mountain Lions. Zach Odom returns to the plate. C.J. Reed starts Odom off with a ball low. Fires a fastball that escapes his control for a little bit and winds up high and inside. Not where C.J. Reed wanted to pinpoint that fastball. Comes back with a get-me-over fastball right down the pipe. And off of the fifth pitch to Odom, Reed walks him with a fastball in the dirt. And you've got Luke Miller battling back from an 0-1 count to even it up at 1-1 and also with one out. C.J. Reed comes set. And flies in a curveball that Miller was able to get some aluminum over the top of that and bounce it off to the third base coach. Comes back with an elevated pitch to C.J. Reed to even it back up at 2-2. And that ball is lifted to left, but Wagner, who has great speed out in left field, corrals it. Nick Sexton dances back up to the plate to see if he can maneuver Smith over from first, and he does with a up the middle single right past the second base bag. And anytime you get a single off of a ground ball in a first, with a run on first scenario, depending on the speed of the ball, you'll have a runner trying to move up 180 feet from first to third, and that is exactly what happened right there. And as fast as Clint Hardy is in center field, he could not stop Smith from maneuvering to third on that single. Now we've got Wall at the dish. Excellent framing by Cole Thompson behind the plate, but the framing did not work to get the call. A second borderline pitch does not connect with the corners. And Cole Thompson has seen enough and goes out to chat with C.J. Reed. similar scenario to what happened in the second inning with a first and third situation, which catapulted a 4-run second inning. Let's see if there can be a different result with C.J. Reed holding down the mound for the Jaguars. And now Cole Thompson, as soon as he gets back from chatting it out with C.J. Reed, has to go right back out to the mound, and the defense comes in for the Jacks, as well as head coach Jason Eller. So we could possibly have a pitching change, and let's see if Eller decides to switch anybody out in the field. It doesn't look like it is, but it could be a possibility of that. And Jason Eller is making the call to the bullpen. As C.J. Reed, through some rough waters in his innings today, has navigated around those rough waters and held the Mountain Lions at bay. So Jason Eller decides to go with Westside High School and Augusta native David Hagelston to come into the ball game, and he does just that and gets a ground ball over to the third baseman to garner the out, and it is still 5-4 as we enter the 7th inning. And Jason Eller deciding to spice things up a little bit here with the speedy Jamal Cummings leading off for the Jaguars. Cummings just absolutely tattoos that fastball from Frew. Just what the doctor ordered for the Jaguars, with a speedy man with Jamal Cummings just absolutely obliterating that pitch. It was sent over the head of Miller in left field. The Jaguars are in business now with Tyler Roberts coming up to the dish. So Jason Eller pulling out all of the right strings and all of the right stops to help the Jaguars tie this ball game up at 5 apiece. Still got to get Jamal Cummings in from second, though. You got the right guy to do that with Tyler Roberts at the dish. Decides to bunt that pitch, does not square it up though, and a lost opportunity from Tyler Roberts. Bunts it at an angle but pops it up, and as he retreats back to the dugout, it is Clint Hardy's opportunity to not let that double from Jamal Cummings go to waste. Hardy takes a rip at one off of a fastball. Contact off the bat sends it even faster back to the net in foul territory behind home plate. Jason Eller decides to call a steal on, but the Mountain Lions had it well scouted. A fastball inside allowed for the transfer cleanly. Tried to catch Cummings going back to the bag, but just too much speed at second for them to have a chance. Sun's beaming down on the field, and the gaps in left and right center have opened up quite a bit for Hardy. If he can hit it out that way, he'll test out the maneuverability of Nick Sexton out in center field. Changeup falls off the table right in the lap. And the framework of McGinnis, the catcher, for the strike. Payoff pitch underway from Frew. It's not very often that Clint Hardy turns to go find a seat on the bench. That time, he got fooled off of a changeup in the lower part of the zone that just died into the dirt. With 2 outs now, Hunter Booz has the opportunity to scrape across that 5th run with Cummings at second. He does see a pitch that he likes, tries to jump all over, but was just a little bit too late off of the speed on the fastball and fouls it back to the net. Hunter Booz is granted time from the home plate umpire, so he gets resettled into the batter's box. And Booz watches one in the dirt, but which Cummings to speed at second. Any ball in the dirt that deviates just a smithereen from McGinnis, Cummings is going to take off, and he takes third easily. And Booz lifts one past the shortstop, and the Jaguars have tied this puppy up at 5 apiece off of the bat of Hunter Booz, who absolutely gets a pitch he likes, elevates it just enough over the shortstop's head, but in between the shortstop and left fielder, and Booz tack on an RBI and the Jaguars' fifth and tying run of the ball game. And Nick Rao has a chance to extend this inning even farther, even though there is 2 outs in the inning. Frew loves checking on batters as he checks on Booz. Right there. We saw the same thing last night from Winsky, the starter, who checked on Hardy last night 5, 6, or 7 straight times in an at-bat. Rao just takes a get-me-over fastball right down the pipe. Rao standing closer to the plate, so he can reach the outside part of the zone. And that ball is just bounced foul to the third baseman. So Hunter Booz comes through and ties this ball game up at 5 apiece And Nick Rouse staring at an 0-2 count. He's looking at his fourth pitch, and he gets a high fastball and does not offer at it. Sexton moving in center field, playing him straight up to where he was shading the Jaguars in previous innings as Booz takes off. And McGinnis nails Booz at second, but not before the massive hit of the inning comes off the bat of Hunter Booz, plating a leadoff double by Cummings for the Jags. First two pitches from Hagelston here in the seventh inning. One was a ball and one's a strike. Third pitch buries the border of the corner on the inside part, but the umpire does not call it a strike. He calls it a ball. Change up low in the dirt. And Hagelston's gunning against one of the scariest guys in the Mountain Lions lineup as Beggs takes a free pass to first base. Especially in this series, though, you would rather take your chances with Westmoreland than Beggs, because last night Beggs displayed his power and tattooed a monster shot over the right field signs to plate their first run of last night's ball game. Westmoreland, the DH at the plate, decides to try to maneuver Beggs to second base by executing a bunt. He watches that pitch for a ball. Second time around, he bunts it foul. Squares it up nicely, hits a bouncer, but just in foul territory. Seventh inning now, tie ball game at 5 apiece. And that pitch from Westmoreland accounts for his second strike, but it wasn't before he tries to bunt that fastball barreling in on the hands, does not square that up, and pops the bunt up, but luckily for him, Cole Thompson could not find it in time to try to make a diving stab at the ball. Hagelston delivers a fastball low. Umpires working with a 17-inch strike zone as Westmoreland's awaiting his 2-2 pitch. And he tattoos it to center field. And the speed of Hardy plus the wind holding that ball up allows Clint Hardy to navigate to the ball and record the first out, the top half of the 7th inning. Troy Kaiser marching in at the dish now. Runner still at first base for the Mountain Lions. And Hagelston steps off, recalibrates. With a tie ball game now, it may actually pay dividends for the Mountain Lions to see if they can steal second base, cause some havoc for the defense of the Jaguars. And it would take them out of a double play scenario with a softly hit ground ball with only one out here in the 7th. Oh, 2 count on Kaiser. Hagelston tries to execute a pitch low and trying to nail the outside corner. Executes it low, but just not on the outside corner. Hagelston fires back. A ball that was left up in the zone. And a scary tattooing swing there from Kaiser. Just misses Souvenir City out by the left field foul pole. Hagelston has another shot at it. 1-2 is the count. Has some pitches to work with. He's looking to set him up. Next pitch elevates the count to a 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He wheels and deals a freezing fastball that Kaiser had no choice but to watch it into the glove of Cole Thompson. And a fired up David Hagelston gets the strikeout that he was looking for on that fastball. McGinnis walks up to the dish, and on the first pitch, he tattoos a foul ball back towards the net behind home plate. He got some good aluminum on that pitch. He just could not direct it and keep it in fair territory. So Hagelston's falling behind 2-1. And that ball is ripped past the diving Hunter Booth at third. And with 2 outs, the Mountain Lions have started to manufacture and move runners up 90 feet. Let's see if they can continue that with Tristan Smith coming up at the dish. Hagelston misfires on that pitch up and in. Fastball levels off at the low outside corner. Excellent pitch for Hagelston. Tries to catch the same location, just could not elevate that pitch enough. That drops off the table and lands too far low. Smith, realizing the situation, has a patient and keen eye watching a lot of these pitches sail in the dirt. Second straight pitch that sailed into the dirt. Getting a little advice from his head coach over at third base in Travis Huffman. Jaguars, with an offensive explosion last night, conquered game number 1. That's hit right back to Hunter Booth, who steps on third. And the third out of the inning without any runs coming across for the Mountain Lions. Jaguars get out of it. It's their chance to reciprocate and respond in the bottom half of 7. Head coach Travis Huffman still sticking with Donald Frew, who has given up 5 runs, but those 5 runs have come in the form of 5 one-run innings. Donald Frew has a chance to retire Nick Rao at the plate. Rao tries to check his swing, but could not stop his momentum in time. Changeup drops off the table there from Frew. Elicits no offering from Rao. And Rao belts one to right field. And that ball is corralled out in right field. Kaiser gets underneath it. Sets up Drew Taylor and Connor Gilbert in the on-deck circle. The 4 and 5 guys in the batting order. And Drew Taylor looks at a first pitch borderline strike. He doesn't gander at that pitch, though, as he tries to muscle that. He gets some good muscle behind it and good aluminum. It just ventures foul. Off to the parking lot. And that ball's roped, but Sexton only moves a couple of feet to his left. And Drew Taylor is retired. And if you're Travis Huffman of the Mountain Lions, you could not have asked for a better 7th inning so far for Donald Frew. Sticking with Frew. It's panned out to be a heck of a decision. But Frew has to retire Connor Gilbert. There is double barrel action in the Mountain Lions bullpen. So you would think at the first sign of trouble from any of the awakened bats of the Jaguars, especially last night and shooting 5 runs across the night, that a call to the bullpen from the Mountain Lions will be made and warranted. And that ball is ushered foul off the bat of Connor Gilbert. Wind starting to pick up here at Lake Olmstead. Might have had an effect on that curveball that drops right before it gets to Connor Gilbert. Too far inside. Setting up inside, barrels the fastball in on the hands. Connor Gilbert muscles it to third base in foul territory. And that wraps up the bottom half of the 7th inning. So we mosey into the 8th inning. It's deadlocked at 5 apiece. Start of the 8th inning is Hagelston's to command on the mound. As his first batter he deals with is Zach Odom. That pitch splits the zone and enters into low territory. As the next pitch Odom sees and he likes it, and that pitch is shot way out to left field. And give a shout out there to Widener and let that ball look like it had enough height to find home run territory, but Widener was able to stifle that and only keep Odom to a double. And the Mountain Lions are in prime position with Miller at the plate to their lead. Wild on Hagelston. That fastball elevates up and in under the chin of Miller. Comes back with a different approach, changes speeds, and with Miller having his eye set on a fastball, cannot adjust to the off-speed pitch from Hagelston. Hagelston's worked ahead in the count now, 1-2. The strikeout for Hagelston would be huge right here as Miller fouls that off to the right. For the Jaguars, a ground ball to the left side of the diamond would be extremely efficient, keeping at bay Odom at second. Miller keeps battling, though. Second straight pitch, he's fouled off to the right. Hagelston does find the strike zone with that fastball that freezes Miller dead in his tracks. So Miller takes a seat, but he will tag in Nick Sexton. Who has a chance with one out. To grab the lead here in this game. But he will have to wait a minute as Jason Eller elects to bring in a reliever from the bullpen. And we will be back with you to let you know exactly who that reliever is on the other side. left-hander Frank Warren roams into the ball game, and he brings to the table 5 appearances with triple zeros all across the board in terms of ERA. 2 saves on the docket, 5 innings pitched, and 5 strikeouts to boot. And he's only given up 2 runs in those 5 appearances. So he has virtually been lights out as he nails the outside part of the strike zone. Comes back. That fastball scoots and tails back over the outside part of the plate. He comes in, even though it's in the 7th inning, in a closer's type mentality. Or excuse me, in the 8th inning, he comes in as a closer's type mentality, trying to hold the Mountain Lions from scoring their 6th run and garnering a lead here in the later innings of the ball game. And that ball is belted out to right, and out is recorded out in right field, but it does allow Odom to secure his 90 feet advancement over to third base. Do you trade an out there for the advancement? As Zach Wall is the last chance in the inning for the Mountain Lions to scoot across that 6th run. If you're Warren here, you want to try to keep the ball down. He fools him with an off-speed pitch right there. His Wall gets aluminum on it, but shoots it off foul. The same location. Insane pitch. Third straight ball, he's fouled off to the right. Shout out to our cameraman, Michael Sodomka, who's doing a fabulous job giving you up-close angles on incoming pitchers and is helping us out. It's an even count now with Warren and Wall. Ball was fouled off toward us this time around. As it's still an even count, Wall is definitely making Warren work for his out or his strikeout. And Wall is trying to fight these off and get a pitch that he would like to drive to get that runner home from third. Right now, with that ball missing, Warren's worked it to a full count. The bullpen is motionless for the Jags, but there's activity in the Mountain Lion bullpen as Hunter Booz took his eye off of that bouncer to Booz, and the Mountain Lions edge across their 6th run of the ball game. And place the Jaguars in catch-up mode when they get to their half of the 8th inning. Warren's recuperating very well, working against Beggs. And Beggs finds himself down 0-2. And a 3-pitch strikeout for Warren, but not before the 6th run is ushered across by a misplay from Hunter Booz at 3rd. Let's see if the Jaguars can respond in the bottom half of the inning. With that 1-2-3 inning, Mountain Lions are sticking with Fair. Are sticking with Frew, I beg your pardon, as Wagner elevates a fastball even more, and it finds the grass in center field right before the center fielder could get to it. Jaguars are in business with a speedy Jim Wagner at first and Cole Thompson at the dish with nobody out. Third baseman Wall is creeping in, thinking there might be a bunt enacted by Thompson and Jason Ower, who's calling and delivering the signs to Cole Thompson at third base. Bunt is enacted on that particular pitch, and Cole Thompson stares at a pitch that rides up into his eyes. He's able to get out of the way of that fastball. And he stands back in looking at a 1-0 strike count. And a lot of the fans wanted that pitch from Frew. As an excellent bunt from Cole Thompson down the first baseline, pushing it past the pitcher to where the first baseman has to make a play on it, allows Wagner to stand up at second safely. And Cummings, who pinched hit for Janowski the last time he was up, started his afternoon, I beg your pardon, off very well with a pinch hit double, and it looks like first sign of trouble. Frew's day on the mound is complete as the Mountain Lions are bringing in a new arm from the bullpen, and we will be right back. Michael Livingston is asked to do the same thing that C.J. Reed was asked to do for the Jaguars a couple innings ago, and that is quell the beginning rally for the Jaguars. That ball's in the dirt, but not far enough for an advancement from the Jaguars to third, as Jamal Cummings is up for his second at bat, swinging away against Livingston. Second ball in the dirt. Livingston's just a little bit wound up right now. You can see Livingston's speed, though, on those fastballs, throwing the daylights out of the ball. His third pitch of the at-bat is a slider that tails and slides to the outside. Does not clip the corner. So it's a 3-ball and 0 strike count on Cummings. And on 4 pitches, Jamal Cummings takes first base and Livingston is in a bit of a jam. But if you're Livingston, you still want to keep the ball down and don't elevate it. And if you're Tyler Roberts, who's up at the dish, it is your job to see if you can make Livingston elevate his pitches enough to where you can get a fly ball or a line drive base hit. Worst thing you can do for the Jags right now is get a ground ball and hit into a double play. An off-speed pitch to start off the at-bat to Roberts from Livingston. A curveball that drops into the strike zone. Houston sets. Fires a changeup, dropping every inch it goes to the plate. Hits low. 1-1. Jam shot from Tyler Roberts. Finds a seat out behind the Mountain Lion dugout. So an excellent opportunity with one out for the Jags to tie this ball game back up. They did so the first time in the 6th inning. And Jason Eller was calling for a hit and run, trying to stay out of a double play, knowing that this at bat, Livingston is having great effect with keeping the ball low into the strike, low in the lower part of the strike zone. T-Rob stands back into the right-hander's batter's box with runners on second and first. A 1-2 count. Releases that pitch too late on the release point, and ball dips down into the dirt. So Livingston evens up the count at 2-all. Livingston again finds the lower part of the strike zone. That pitch flies, the trajectory angle is low, and now Roberts is looking at a payoff pitch coming his way. And the Jaguars execute a pinch runner at second in the form of Blue Sanderson to create more speed on the base paths. Livingston, having gone 0-2 on Roberts to start the at-bat, loses him on the payoff pitch, and now the bases are fully juiced with one out and a absolute phenomenal leadoff hitter and Clint Hardy standing at the dish. Infield comes in. Hardy looks to elevate the ball and get that runner from third in Blue Sanderson across home plate to tie the ball game up. You still have the middle of the infield playing double play depth. Livingston is doing his job very well, not elevating any pitches. He just hadn't been able to find the strike zone with a lot of his pitches. At least the last 4 to Tyler Roberts, and now the first one to Clint Hardy. And that was Hardy's pitch. That fastball was elevated up. And Clint Hardy would absolutely be impatient with it, knowing that he's going low in the strike zone. I'd love to have that pitch back as the second out is recorded just beyond the first base bag. Hunter Booz looks to atone for his miscalculation on the Mountain Lions came across. He has a chance to tie or give the Jaguars the lead. It's that fastball play that the 6th run for Hunter Booz didn't like it, but the umpire says it nailed the outside part of the strike zone. Bases are completely loaded for the Jaguars. 2 outs. Hunter Booz tries to send that ball out to downtown, but misses on that swing as he's in a quick 0-2 hole. And Livingston has come in and has done his job holding the Jags at bay to this point, shutting the door and only allowing Sanderson to advance to third. Booz is still battling, fighting off a pitch that looked to be a little bit low, but Booz is still in there. Changes speeds on him again, and that ball reaches the stands off to the right. Now remember, fans, in last night's game, the Jaguars took a commanding lead and never lost it, with the final score ending up being Jaguars 16, the Mountain Lions 7, off of a very valiant and a strikeout call looking to Hunter Booz. Lifts the Mountain Lions out of a auspicious spot and a very hard inning to take in if you are the Jaguars. We will come back here at Lake Olmstead Stadium for the 9th inning after this. ninth inning is underway with Warren firing a ball that just misses the outside corner, and that ball is lifted into shallow right field. Jaguars were playing deep. And the Mountain Lions cranked it shallow. Warren with a pickoff move to first base. Mountain Lions slide back in there successfully. And another throwback. Not as close. Number 7. That ball was bunted foul. As Troy Kaiser shoots that ball foul. And Frank Warren's back in. Pitchers count at 0-1. Third time's a charm as the Jaguars peg the lead, the runner at first out. The base is cleared off now. And Kaiser, who had a runner at first to move over, his strategy changes now and just looks to get on base. And that ball's blasted back our way, foul. A fastball that does not tail back over the outside corner. Comes back with a slide piece. It doesn't slide over the outside corner. Now, Frank Warren is in the midst of delivering his payoff pitch. And loses Kaiser. Now McGinnis, the catcher, migrating up to the dish for the Mountain Lions. Jaguars have knocked 11 hits in the ball game, and the Mountain Lions believe they have accumulated 9 hits. And even though they've been out hit, they lead by 1 run here in the last inning of the ball game if this game does not get tied by the Jaguars in the bottom half of the inning. Fastball from Warren cannot connect with the outside corner. Double play depth in the infield from third, short, and second. McGinnis with a swift cut swings through that pitch. And that ball's belted on a line. Ball's caught at the wall for the Jaguars. And Frank Warren breathes a sigh of relief, as the rest of the Jaguars and the Jaguars nation and fans do. Warren's not out of the woods yet, though, as he's got to battle Tristan Smith here. First pitch fastball outside. Let's see if that's to set up any inside pitches from Warren. Tries to nap the outside corner and cannot. Warren finds himself falling behind the hitter. 2 balls and no strikes. Comes back with a get-over fastball down the pipe. 2-1. That ball was heading back towards our way, and our cameraman, Michael Sadamka, might have had a play on it if the net wasn't so tall. They've already had a runner at first. Have the Mountain Lions picked off at first. Frank Warren looks to do the same thing with a throw over. Fires back to the dish, though. Strikeout in the hands. Last-ditch inning effort for the Jaguars coming on the other side of the break. On the other side of the break. Can they tie this ball game up? 3 outs to work with. An imperative 3 outs. You do not want to miss it. Can the Jaguars tack on their 4th win in Peach Belt Conference play? Or can the Young Harris Mountain Lions garner their first Peach Belt Conference victory with a record of 5-9 outside of the conference? The Jaguars have a pretty strong record not in Peach Belt Conference play, sporting an 11-5 record, 11 victories and 5 losses. But it all boils down to these last 3 outs here in the 9th inning. And Nick Rao is at the plate and looks at his second strike of the at-bat. The Mountain Lions get a favorable call right there. The lower part of the zone. That brings up Drew Taylor to see if he can get on base and start a rally. And looks like the outside part of the plate in the outside corner has opened up a little bit. Tried to reach the outside corner there, a little bit too far outside. Drew Taylor heads out to talk with his head coach and third base coach, Jason Eller. And he golfs a pitch out to the tarp in left field. Drew Taylor finds himself in a hole, 1-2. It's out in front as that ball's popped up to the first base side. And quickly here, off a strikeout and a pop out, the Mountain Lions have 2 quick outs on their way to their first conference victory here in the 2016 season. And conversely, Connor Gilbert is the last hope for the Jaguars if they want to not lose their first conference loss in the Peach Belt Conference. He bounces one to third. Third baseman boots it. And the Jaguars catch a break right there. As Zach Wall had a chance to end the game, but misplays that hop. And now Blue Sanderson comes up in a crucial spot for his first AB of the ball game. So speed is the name of the game out on the base pads as Lawson Duncan shoots in for Connor Gilbert. Blue Sanderson admires a tough pitch to take right there. And Duncan is back at first. You would think with the speed of Duncan, a double would score Lawson Duncan right here. It's a 1-1 count now on Blue Sanderson. And that ball skied into center field. And that'll wrap this game up. The Mountain Lions of Young Harris come to Lake Olmstead Stadium after a catastrophic and whopping loss last night, 16-7. They come firing back, evening the series with a win today, 6-5, tying up the series at 1-1. We will be back for the conclusion of the series tomorrow, fans. Do not go anywhere. This is shaping up to be a heck of a series. You want to stay tuned tomorrow as we bring you the third and final game of this weekend series between the Augusta Jaguars and Young Harris Mountain Lions. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Have a blessed rest of your day, and we will see you guys tomorrow.